Okay, so this is when it went from him just blowing up my phone to him like popping up at my house and places that I was at. What's good, y'all? It's your girl J Rebel, and today I'm coming back at y'all with another story time. Yes. And today's story time is gonna be about the time that this guy I was dealing with a couple years ago turned into a whole stalker. Yes. Oh my gosh. So I figured, why not get on camera and tell a story time since, I'm already all dressed and looking cute or whatever. I had a date earlier, which went well, by the way. So yeah, I figured since I'm all, zoned up, serving looks, why not do a video, yeah. So me and this guy, we met at, we basically worked at the same place. We both worked at this call center, and y'all, this call center was ghetto. Everybody and their mama worked at this call center. It was a lot of drama going on, and yeah, it was very much ghetto. So yeah, I met him at the, actually I didn't meet him at the call center. I met him through his quote unquote brother. They weren't really brothers, they just called each other brothers. So when I was working there, when I was going through training or whatever, there was a point in time where, and the training was downstairs, so there was a point in time where we had to go upstairs on where the floor was at, where everybody works, so that we could shadow and see like how the job is done or whatever, and see how the calls go. So when I finally got out of training, the guy that I was dealing with, his brother, and for the sake of the story time, we're gonna call him, let's call him Tommy. So Tommy, he wasn't on my team. He was on another team, which was in the very next row where my team sat. So he was like right, he sat right in front of me, the very next row. So like, even when I was still in training and I would come upstairs with my training group, I always caught him staring at me or whatever. And then finally, once I got on the floor and I was out of training, he tried, to talk. He tried talking to me. So I wasn't really feeling him like that, but he kept trying to talk to me, and it was annoying. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and get this boy my number, because he was asking for it, and I really didn't want to give it to him. But I'm like, you know what? Let me just give him my number, so I don't know. Because I don't know. Back then, it's like, I knew I didn't want to talk to him, but at the same time, like, I was trying to be nice. I was trying to give him a chance or whatever. So I gave him my number. And so we ended up texting, and I remember him telling me, oh, I'm at the gym right now with my brother. And he ended up sending me a picture of him and his brother. So I'm looking at the picture and I'm like, honey, who is Dance? Who is Dance? Oh, that's your brother? Oh, okay. So, yeah, I pretty much let him know, like, I was feeling his brother. I didn't care, because I knew that I didn't like Tommy, and I wanted to make that clear to him, but try to make it clear, like, in a nice way, because I could have let him know from the jump, like, I'm not trying to talk to you, I'm not giving you my number, blah, 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 blah. But, back then I was trying to be nice. So, yeah, I let him know, like, I was feeling his brother or whatever. And he was like, oh, you feeling so and so. Well, let me go ahead and give you his number, and y'all could talk or whatever. So he ended up giving me his brother's number, and we were talking, and we ended up hitting it off. So let me go ahead and give his brother, which is the guy that I ended up dealing with, a name. So for the story time, we are gonna call him Black, because he wore a lot of black. He did. So yeah, me and Black, we talked, we talked through text or whatever, and it got to a point where he was like, come over, because I wanna see you, I wanna spend time with you, blah blah blah. So for the first meeting, I was like, well, do you mind if I bring my friend with me, because this is my first time meeting you, I don't really know you like that, and I'm coming over your house, so I would just feel more comfortable if my friend was there. So he was cool with it, and I ended up bringing my friend over there, but it was awkward because my friend was kind of like the third wheel, and I could tell like he couldn't really talk to me how he wanted to talk to me because she was there. But I had to be safe. At the end of the day, I had to be safe and look out for me and make sure he wasn't on no creep type time. Yeah, we was over there, we talked about random stuff, whatever, and he seemed cool. So the next time I saw him, we was chilling on the couch. It was just me and him there. And that's another thing. So Tommy and Black, they were actually roommates. Like, they lived together. But Tommy, Tommy wasn't there this next time I went over there. It was just me and Black hanging out. So, we sitting on the couch, we watching TV or we watching a movie or whatever. And like, I just, like, from the corner of my eye, I could see that Black is staring at me. So I'm looking at him and I'm like, why are you staring at me, sir? Like, and he didn't say anything. And the next thing I know, like, he just goes in for a kiss. And so we ended up kissing, and one thing led to another, and we did what grown-ups do. So that was that, and that pretty much went on for a whole year. Like, I was dealing with Black for a whole year. And when we were dealing with each other, like, we made it very clear that neither one of us were really looking for anything serious. We just wanted to have our fun and mess around. You know what I'm saying? So that's all it was. I was cool with it and he was cool with it. So like I said, we were messing around for a whole year, but eventually, it gets old. Like, just you and somebody just having sex and that's all it is. It gets old after a while. At least for me, it did. So it was like, okay, what are we really doing now at this point? Like, is it just only gonna be sex, or are we gonna be together? Like, what is it? Because at this point, I'm over it, and either we gonna be together or we not. Either way, like, I'm cool. If you don't want to be with me, that's cool. I'll just be on to the next. So I remember, like, there was a night he invited me over to his apartment, and he had like, and by this time he had already moved out. Like, him and Tommy weren't living together no more. So Tommy had went off to the military or whatever, and Black ended up getting his own apartment. So he just lived by himself. So by this time he was living by himself. So he invited me over to his apartment, and he had like this whole romantic dinner going on. Like, he cooked, and he had the candles with the rose petals and all of that. And I'm just like, okay, like, what is all of this for? Like, what are you doing, sir? What are your intentions? I'm sitting there across from him, and I'm eating my little dinner that he made me, sipping the little wine that he poured, and I'm like, I basically, because I already knew in my mind, like, I was over this. I didn't want to just, continue with this, cuddy buddy relationship, friends with benefits, whatever you want to call it. I was over it. So I flat out asked him, like, straight up, I was like, so what are we doing? Are we going to be together or are we not? And of course he beat around the bush, because I knew that he didn't really want to be in a relationship, but he didn't want to come out and say that and hurt my feelings, even though it wouldn't have hurt my feelings. Like, I'm a big girl, I could take it. If you don't want to be with me, that's cool. Like, just be honest. Like, I could take it. So yeah, he basically beat around the bush, and that told me everything I needed to know. So I basically took that as a no. But I didn't let him know that, like, okay, you don't want to be with me, so this is it. I'm not talking to you or seeing you ever again. Even though I knew in my head that's what was next, I didn't tell him that because I didn't know how he was going to react. And I had to be safe. So, not that he gave off crazy vibes or anything, but you just never know what somebody's going to say or do when you tell them something that they may not necessarily want to hear. So yeah, in my mind I knew, okay, we're not gonna be together, so that's it. Like, I'm done with you. I'm moving on to the next. Yeah, that was that. And the next time he tried to contact me, I just didn't answer the phone. I ignored it. And after that, like, he would just keep, like, y'all, he was blowing my phone up, calling and texting me like 5 times a day, and I just would let the phone ring, or I would just ignore his text messages. I would not respond to him at all, because I already knew in my mind, like, this isn't going anywhere and I don't want to do this anymore. So it's no point in me talking to you, because I know that this is pointless. Like, this, what we have going on is pointless. So yeah, it's time for me to be on.
This is insane.
I think I did end up picking up the phone one time, and I remember, like, he was talking about, oh, I want to see you, I have something to tell you. And I was like, well, whatever you have to tell me, you can tell me right now while we're on the phone. And he was like, no, I have to see you in person to tell you. Like, I need to tell it to you in person. And I knew that was some bullshit. Like, whatever you have to say, you can say it to me on the phone, sir. Why do you need to see me in person? Like, I already knew he wanted to see me in person, because he figured, okay, wow, I'm gonna get her here in my presence in front of me, and I'm gonna try to, put it on her. And, he thought that the deed was gonna make me change my mind. But no, sweetheart. Once my mind is made up, my mind is made up. And that's just what it is. I told him, like, anything you have to say to me, you can say it to me on the phone. And if not, then I'm hanging up. This is the end of the conversation. So yeah, that's what it was. I hung up, and that was it. Like, from then on, like, anytime he would call me or text me, I would just ignore it. And what was funny is, like, later on, not too much later on, after I stopped dealing with him, he ended up getting a girlfriend. And the way I found out is because I seen that he was posting her on his Facebook. Because, every now, even though I wasn't talking to him or seeing him, I was still, like, lurking on his Facebook, just seeing what he was up to, and seeing, like, if he was making any posts, like subliminal posts about me or whatever. So I seen that he was posting this girl on his Facebook, which ended up being his girlfriend. So I'm like, oh, interesting. Like, even though he was with this girl, he was still blowing up my phone, y'all. Still blowing up my phone, back to back to back to back. And I was still ignoring him. So one day, his girlfriend actually ended up texting me. Like, she actually ended up hitting me up and talking about, hey, Brooklyn, because he had me saved in his phone as Brooklyn, because he knew I was from New York or whatever. So she was like, hey Brooklyn, this is so-and-so, Black's girlfriend, and I saw that you were #1 on his call list, so I just wanted to see like what was going on between y'all two. I seen that you were #1 on his call list, and I seen that y'all were sending money back and forth to each other, so I just wanted to know what was going on between y'all. And yes, y'all, this was back when I was sending niggas money. Never again. Never again. Like, I was even letting this nigga drive my car to work. Like, this nigga didn't even have a car, y'all. Like, ghetto. Listen, the woman I am now, today, in present day, never. You would never catch me doing stuff like that. Yeah, she was like, I just wanted to see what was going on between the two of y'all. And I basically let her know, like, sis, I'm not the one that you need to be addressing. You need to be addressing your man, the one that you're in a relationship with, the one that's telling you every day that he loves you, the one that's sticking his dick in you, not me, because I'm not doing any of those things. He's doing those things. He's the one that's, you know, supposed to be faithful to you. So any questions you have, you need to be taking that up with him, because that's y'all relationship. That ain't got nothing to do with me. So whatever issues y'all got going on in y'all relationship, y'all need to figure that out, because I don't got time for it. Like, it was given very much, Barbara, this is Shirley. And no. Barbara ain't got time. So I basically let her know, like, sis, yeah, you need to, any questions you have, you need to take that up with him. And obviously you don't trust him, and you know he's out here doing you dirty, and that's why you're contacting me. Because if you trusted him and you didn't think he was doing nothing, you wouldn't even be texting me right now. So that just lets me know that you don't trust him, and you're probably very insecure, and yeah, it's not looking good, sis. Not looking good. And why are you texting me? You don't even know me. You don't even know what my relationship is with you know, Black. So why are you trusting me to give you information? You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you don't know. He could be paying my bills, buying me gifts, and do you really think that I'm gonna jeopardize that just to tell you the truth when I don't even know you either? Like, at the end of the day, I don't owe you anything, sweetie. So yeah, so I basically let her know that, and I don't think she texted me back after I said that. That was just the end of that. So next thing I know, I look on Black's Facebook, and I see that he made a post talking about, this bitch is crazy, and da-da-da-da-da, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, oh. So I see she confronted him about our little conversation.
This is insane.
And yeah, so they basically ended up breaking up. And even after that, he was still blowing up my phone. And I was still ignoring him. Okay, so this is when it went from him just blowing up my phone to him like popping up at my house and places that I was at. So there was this one night I was at work, and this is when I was living with my sister and her husband and my nephew. So there was this one night I was at work, and I get this text from my sister, and she's like, you know, Black just came by to see you, right? And I was like,
who?
Like, what you mean Black came by to see me? Like, What is he doing there? Why did he come by? So she said that, you know, he basically just wanted to see me. He didn't really go into too much detail. So this is what happened. So he went to my house at night and he didn't even ring the doorbell, y'all. He just stood in the driveway. I don't know if he was just waiting for me to come outside, like he was just expecting me at some point to walk outside. I don't know. But what ended up happening is my sister's husband, he walked outside like through the garage to go smoke a cigarette. And as the garage door is coming up, he sees this big ass tall, cause Black was tall, y'all. He sees this big ass tall black man standing in the driveway. And at first my sister's husband said that he didn't even recognize Black, because when I first met Black and when I first introduced him to my sister and her husband, he had dreads. But by this time he had cut his dreads off, so my sister's husband didn't even recognize him. He thought it was just some random man in the driveway, you know what I'm saying? And just imagine that, like, it's dark, it's nighttime, and some random man is standing in the driveway. Like, sir, what are you doing? What are you doing? My sister's husband was like, you know, can, like, who first he was like, who is that? Like, who are you? Because he didn't recognize Black. So Black was like, oh, it's me. I was just here to see Jasmine. You know, is she home? Da 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 da. And my sister's husband was basically like, no, she's not home right now. She's at work. And Black was like, well, you know, she hasn't really been answering my calls or my texts, and she hasn't been trying to see me. So my sister's husband was basically like, well, that should tell you something. If she's not responding to you, that should let you know that obviously she doesn't want to talk to you, sir. So he starts asking, so Black was like, okay, and then starts asking about my nephew, asking how my nephew is doing and where he's at. Like, sir, that's none of your business, first of all. Like, don't ask about my family. Don't worry about what my family is doing and where they're at. So he was like, yeah, he was asking about my nephew, and my sister's husband was like, oh, he's at the basketball court up in the front of the development that we stayed in. So do y'all know that Black went to the front of the development to the basketball court to see my nephew, and then started questioning my nephew about me, asking like how I'm doing and stuff? Like, sir, you doing way too much right now. You doing way too much. You do not need to be questioning my nephew about anything. He has nothing to do with this. Nothing to do with me. This is about me and you. This has nothing to do with him. So you need to leave him alone and stay the fuck away from my family, period. Or else you're really gonna have some issues. So yeah, y'all, that was one situation. Now, there was another situation. So there was this other day, I had went to the mall to do a little shopping or whatever. And I was only in the mall for a little while. I just got what I needed and got out of there. So I finished doing my shopping. I was getting ready to walk out the mall. And now, mind you, where I parked at was not originally where I was gonna park at. Originally, I was gonna park on the side of the mall and walk through this store that I usually walk through, but instead, for some reason, I decided to park in the back of the mall, like where the food court was at. I don't know why. I guess I just said to myself, you know what, I'm gonna just switch it up today and park over here. But I guess, you know, everything, I'm a firm believer in everything happens for a reason. I guess the universe just, you know, the planets aligned, and it was just meant for me to park back there. So, and y'all will hear why in a few seconds. Yeah, I finished my shopping. I'm getting ready to walk out of the mall to go to my car. And as I'm walking out of the mall, I noticed that there's this guy standing outside. This tall black guy. So as I'm getting closer, I see that it's Black.
No! God, please, no! No! No!
And I'm thinking in my mind, like, what? I'm like, okay, like I'm already outside. Let me just walk to my car because I was not about to go back in the mall and walk all the way around on the side just to go to my car. I wasn't about to do all of that. So I'm walking outside and my dumb ass, I'm trying to look like I got my head turned to the side, like trying to look the other way, trying to hide my face so he don't see me. But I knew he was gonna know it was me because back then, during that time, like I wore my hair in a certain hairstyle that not a lot of other girls was wearing. Like I had my natural hair out and it was black and blonde because I had dyed it blonde, but my hair had grew back in a lot. So it was like black. It was mostly black with a little bit of blonde at the top, and it was curly, and I had it like in a mohawk. So I knew he was gonna recognize me, so it wasn't no point in me trying to hide my face. But yeah, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just keep walking. I'm not gonna say nothing to him, and that's that. So I'm walking. I walk past him and here he go calling my name. He's like, Jasmine, Jasmine, Jasmine. So I'm not paying him no mind. I just keep walking to my car. So I get to my car, I get in. Y'all, I'm getting ready to back out of the parking spot. Tell me why Black, like as I'm backing out, trying to back out, Black says, "Skrrr," and pulls up right behind my car, blocking me in. So I can't even back out. And I can't go forward because there's a car parked in front of me. And plus I was parked in, plus one of those little, you know, cement blocks that's be in the parking spots. That was in front of the, you know, that was in the parking spot too. So I couldn't go over that. So I'm like, oh my God. Y'all, I ain't gonna lie. So like I was so scared in that moment because I'm like, okay, what is this boy about to do? Like when I saw him like come up behind me and get out his car, like my heart was beating so fast because I did not know what this boy was about to do. I didn't know what his intentions were. I'm like, okay, because you know, men, like people are crazy, but men, they do not take rejection well. They just don't. Like, they have big egos and they cannot handle getting rejected. So I'm thinking to myself, like, is this nigga about to off me? Like, is this it? Like, yeah, I'm thinking to myself, like, is this it? Am I about to meet my maker today? Like, Lord, what is going on? Yeah, he gets out his car. He walks up to my car on the driver's side. And in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, what does he want? And I did not feel like rolling my window down and talking to him, but I knew I didn't have a choice because like he had me blocked in. I couldn't go nowhere. So I'm like, okay, let me just talk to this boy and see what he want. So I roll my window down and I'm like, yes, Black, like what is it? What do you want? What? So he's like, you know, I just want to talk to you. I just want to talk. I just want to find out why you've been ignoring my calls and my texts. Like, what did I do? And I'm like, you didn't do anything. Like, I just decided that I didn't want to talk to you anymore. And I didn't really feel like going into detail with him because at the end of the day, we were never together. We were never in a serious relationship. So I didn't feel like I owed him an explanation as to why I didn't want to talk to him. You know what I'm saying? And I just didn't feel like talking to him then. Like, I just wanted to leave. So I just kept it real short and sweet. Like, I just didn't want to talk to you no more. Now, can you please move? Like, I'm trying to go home. He just stood there and stared at me for like a couple seconds. And it was, it was so creepy. But he ended up walking off. Like, he was like, man, whatever, like, that's foul, that's real foul. So yeah, he ended up just walking off and getting back into his car, and he just pulled off and left. And I was just praying that he wasn't gonna try to follow me home. And that was pretty much it. That was the last time I ever seen him or talked to him. And I just wanna put this out there to my ladies. Please do not let these men know where you live if you are not in a relationship with them. If you just messing around with them and it's not serious, please do not let them know where you live, because situations like this end up happening where they could potentially pop up at your house if you don't want to talk to them anymore. You know what I'm saying? And it could be dangerous. So luckily during that time I was living with my family. I wasn't living by myself. And I wasn't there when he did decide to pop up. But yeah, just do not let these men know where you live if it's not a serious relationship, ladies. But yeah, that was the last time, and like after that day at the mall, that was the last time I saw him or heard from him. Well, no, he did try to reach out to me again. Like, he DM'd me on Facebook a couple months later, basically saying that, you know, he's sorry for what he did. Like, he was like, I know what I did to make you not want to deal with me anymore, and I'm sorry. But I just want to let you know that, you know, I'm thankful for everything that you did for me, and I hope that you're doing well, and all this bullshit. And a part of me was like tempted to message him back just to see like what he was talking about, because he said he knew the reason why I didn't want to talk to him anymore, even though I never told him. So I was just curious to see like what he was gonna say, like what did he think the reason was. But I was like, no, I'm not gonna message him, because I didn't want to open that door for him to think that he could just come. Like, I didn't want him to get too comfortable, you know what I'm saying, and think that there was a possibility that we could be something again. No, it's a wrap for that. It's a done deal. So yeah, he messaged me that one last time. I didn't respond, and that was it. I have not seen him or heard from him since. So yeah, y'all, that is the end of the story time. I hope y'all enjoyed it, and make sure that y'all comment, like, and subscribe to the channel so that way y'all can stay updated every time I drop a video. I know I haven't dropped a video in a little bit, but you know, I'm trying to stay consistent with my channel. I'm trying. Y'all gotta bear with me. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time.